So we have many who will share, and they will tell us the science behind this little device, which seems magical, but it really has something which is helping. It's not just magic, it genuinely is helping us. I can see that in many ways. For myself personally, I have benefited, be it ulcers or rashes or emotions. It is helping overall with emotional, physical, mental issues that I've had, which for years I've been visiting doctors, and there hasn't been a cure to what I'm going through. But suddenly this Healy seems to be helping for things which would take like 2 days migraine, would with a number of medicines, is helping in just 3 hours of Healy. I'm feeling better. Or even ulcers, which would be so painful normally 3-4 days, gets done in just 24 hours. So a lot has been for myself, and even my emotions, my moods, my aches and pains are much better. So I can totally vouch for this, and this is just that I wanted to share with everyone, because it's worth every penny is what I can say. That I know it's a bit expensive, but it's a family sharing smartphone, if you may say. Like, it's not just for one person, and it's really working and helping. So I over to you, Amrita and Rasamrit. I and my family, sleep is better, everything, like everybody has felt much better using it. So just they can tell you through the science of what happens exactly. So yes, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kuna. We put this presentation together about the science, and very excited to show it to all of you. So we'll go through some slideshows on all of that, but before we do that, I want to invite Kosha to speak a few minutes. She knows the founder of Healy, and she's been to Germany. She's been to the Healy release events in Europe. So she's very well knowledgeable and connected with the Healy. She's also a holistic health coach and educator for 25 years, and very well loved in the ISKCON world, all over the world and beyond. And we're so grateful to have her here with us. So I want to invite you to speak, Kosha.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here in this wonderful assembly. As Amrita mentioned, I have a background in the healing arts, over 25 years as a therapist, as a healthcare educator, as an herbalist. And my own foray into natural health and medicine happened as a result of many years from infancy, actually, of medical intervention for serious conditions. And after 25 years of antibiotics and steroids, I was kind of laid out to waste, that they couldn't do anything for me anymore. And my immune system was so severely compromised. I was a case study for quite a few different Ayurveda doctors and homeopathic doctors and naturopath doctors, and nobody could get me back to health. So through a very arduous, long process of learning everything I could about nutrition and lifestyle and pranayam, and it goes on and on. So many things that I've incorporated into my daily life to do more than to survive, but to actually thrive. So because of the weakened immune system, in my 30s, I got shingles. And for me, it was on the jaw meridian, and it created an incredible amount of head pain. So I had this pain for over 20 years. And Marcus Schmidtke, the inventor and co-founder of Healy, he has a background as a quantum physicist, scientist, and he has had a lot of inventions before now. I've known Marcus for over 20 years, and I used to stay with him and his family in Germany. And when he let me know about the Healy, I was really excited. And I knew something of energy medicine, but I didn't know much about frequency medicine. So therein began my education. And he invited me to come to the first Healy conference in Barcelona, Spain in 2019. And I went over there, and it was an incredible experience, because there were over 500 doctors, healthcare practitioners, therapists, and entrepreneurs from all over Europe that had been using, many of them Time Waver, the parent company frequency device, which is the leading frequency device in Europe. So they had come to Healy through Marcus, through the Time Waver. And they were there using Healy for the last, many of them 6 to 12 months in their practice and using it personally. So they all had amazing stories to share. So I spent those 4 days just talking to everybody I could to find out their real life experience, real people, real results. And I was just so excited because working with so many people over all these years who have compromised health situations or who live with chronic or acute pain or have injuries that have never healed, and on it goes, and all the people who have sleep issues. And so when I heard that, that's what I kept hearing from the therapists and doctors, that Healy was helping markedly with, very quickly with sleep, chronic insomnia and acute and chronic pain and emotional stress and anxiety. And I won't even go through the list because I want to make sure and be compliant. But I was just thinking of all the people I knew personally and all the people who would benefit from Healy. And I was so excited. And Healys weren't available in the US yet. And Marcus and Christian, the co-founders, they gave me one as a gift. And so I brought it home, my treasure, and I started sharing it with friends and family who needed it. And I started using it myself. And within a week, the first week, it was like such deep restorative sleep. And I didn't realize I wasn't sleeping well, but then the difference was so obvious, how much, what you feel like when you get really good sleep. And then after about 2 months of using the Healy every day, my knee pain was gone. And my body's 60 years old, and I thought I was going to have to get knee surgery. And the pain was gone in my knees and my hips. And I was still, the pain in the head was decreasing little bit by little bit, but that was really my test for the Healy's efficacy, as if I could get rid of this shingles head pain. And at the 4-month marker, that's when that pain left me. And it was just such an aha moment. It was like, wow, if this could take care of a 20-year chronic pain, imagine how many people can be benefited from this. So I kept going with it, and it's been 1.5 years I've been using the Healy. Big difference for immune system. I feel like I have a new nervous system. My lot of things in the body and the brain are working much, much better. So I felt a huge obligation to share Healy with everybody I know and love and care about, because everybody has some challenges with their physical, mental, emotional body. And one of my friends in Healy from Australia, Taran, she says it, I love her soundbite. She says, this is ancient wisdom combined with the technology of the future available to us today. And that frequencies are the language of the universe. They're the language of energy. And that this unique device, if you haven't seen it, it's this little. It's, I guess, about 2 inches by 2 inches, weighs next to nothing. And yet it's this incredible, incredible device that will deliver up to 300,000 different frequencies through a few different ways. And they're going to tell you about that. But just so you can see, when you're using the microcurrent, it's delivered with either adhesive patches or with wristbands. The microcurrent has been around. Microcurrent frequencies have been around and used for almost 100 years. But in the last 40 years is when we've had the scientific data to back it up, how much it's doing on a cellular level. What Healy can do for you and for your family and your loved ones is an exciting adventure for each of us to go through. So thank you.
I just had one point to add, that the best part in the Healy is, if you are like for me, I was doing Healy for emotions and for my emotional well-being. But the beauty is there were some spasms or backache and various knots in my shoulder, which were physical ailments. So though I didn't start the Healy for physical ailments in my body. But the beauty was, though I was doing it for emotions and other hormones, it was helping multiple things. So I didn't have to concentrate on just one particular thing. Like when I started the Healy, it started for just 2-3 issues that I started it, but it was helping. Suddenly there was my face was less red, which everyone, most of you have seen it just being literally maroon half the time. So it was less red, burning less. Everything has been, I've been feeling better. Issues that I wasn't dealing with started getting better with the Healy. So it's not just focusing on one or two issues. Overall, it'll give you like healthy cells in your whole body, is just what I wanted to add. Please continue.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's such a great point, that actually there's so many positive benefits from doing each of the programs. Yeah, so it's quite incredible. Thank you for that point. And thank you so much, Kosha, for sharing. That was really beautiful to hear your journey and all those details. So we will start the science presentation, and I want to introduce Dr. Radikesh. He's amazing, generous person, so kind and caring, and everyone in the community is so grateful for how selfless he is in, helping so many people and with medical advice. And lately he's been sharing the Healy because it was so powerful for him and effective for him and his family. Healy, the wearable medical device. The first page on the Healy is the gold cycle page. So basically you control the Healy with an app on your phone. And there's many different programs you can choose from to run on the Healy. So the gold cycle page, which is showing here, has all these different programs and very, very powerful for so many different things, which we'll get into later. But this gold cycle page has, just in itself, this one page has 120,000 different frequencies, which it specifically chooses which one you need in a certain program that you choose. And it helps with a whole variety of different issues and well-being. So here's another example of what the app looks like on your phone and the different program pages. So you have many different choices of different programs to run. Under beauty and skin, you have hair, aging, skin elasticity, wounds support, and then job and sleep. You have so many different choices. Activation, positive thoughts, right? Fatigue, exhaustion. And then on the bottom of that, you have your sleep choices to help promote very balanced, restful sleep. And then an example of another page, the bioenergetic balance. You have immune system, eyes, hormones, flexibility, nerves, so many different things to get support in. And a little bit about frequency therapy. So the Healy delivers frequency therapy, which is vibrations, very specific vibrations coming from the Healy. So to understand the concept of a frequency, really anything that repeats itself has a frequency, right? So hertz, when the Healy on the app is showing you how many hertz is happening at a certain time in your program session, that's simply how many vibrations are coming per second from the Healy. And it varies. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's less. And the Healy is actually reading your body and delivering the exact frequencies within a certain program that you need. So for example, our breath is a very important frequency that we need to maintain our life in this body. And if we're breathing very shallow, if we're stressed and our breath is interrupted, then the healthy frequency of our breath is out of balance. So pranayam, as we know, is extremely powerful. So what does pranayam do? It reestablishes the strong, healthy frequency of our breath. And then there's so many health benefits from that, as everyone is aware of. So mantra also has a frequency. And as Kosha mentioned, numerous scientists and practitioners around the world have studied the healthy frequencies within a healthy body. So they know which frequencies are optimal for the liver to function well, for the brain to function well, for the heart to function well. This is very deeply studied. All of our different passages in our body, all of the different organs have specific frequencies when they're functioning at a healthy level. And then when those frequencies are interrupted, then we experience ill health or pain or fatigue, etc. So for this part, I would like to invite Dr. Radikesh to go over this.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited that everyone is here, especially those who don't know much about the Healy. Everybody has wonderful experiences with it who's used it, and my experiences have certainly been like that also. But I want to give a little background on what exactly the Healy does from a scientific perspective. So we're going to talk at a very basic level about the cell and this type of thing. Just nothing, you're not going to get a PhD in biology after this. You're just going to have a little understanding of how it works, basically. So you have the cells, you have individual cells within the body, and each cells have their own metabolism. Water comes in, nutrients, oxygen, all of these things, the healthy things that we need come into our cells. And end products or things that we don't need taken out and then can be removed from the body. Every cell has a membrane around it. And these membranes have little valves, little doors through which things can come in and out. The way the membrane works, a mechanism based on voltage, based on an electrical current, which is the difference between the inside and outside of the cells. Usually negative 70 to 90 millivolts is the ideal. If that voltage potential across the cell membrane is disrupted or it's weakened, it's not optimally functioning, then there's problems in the movement of products in and out of the cell, and that can cause health problems. And another way to think of voltage is think of it as a pressure or force, this type of thing. When the natural frequencies of the body, okay, every part of the body, every different cell type, every function that we have requires different frequencies or energies. When those become disrupted and they're not functioning at the best level, we can get ill. When they're functioning well, we can be very, very healthy. The researchers Becker and Nordenstrom was the former chairman of the Nobel Prize Commission, and found that disrupted cell membrane voltage is one of the root causes for almost all acute and chronic illness. So this is very important. It's not for a couple of things. It says almost all acute and chronic illness. So chronic illnesses, we have diabetes and high blood pressure, cholesterol, heart attacks, stroke. I mean, there's no end. And acute illnesses are always out there, whether it's colds or flus or, other COVID and everything else that's out there. So they found disruption across the cell membrane voltage is related to almost all of these disorders they're seeing. Cell membrane tension decreases with many different things. Illness, aging, toxins, stress, in this day and age, stress is everywhere. Toxins are all in our environment, whether we realize it or not. And what happens, and we'll see this in the upcoming slides, this process can lead to inflammation. It can lead to swelling and pain. It can lead to the development of tumors, and eventually it leads to even cells dying. So by introducing very specific healthy frequencies back into the body, we can put that bioenergetic balance of the cell membrane at its optimal level, at its healthy level, and people can stay, healthier and throughout their whole life. One thing, I've practiced 20 years of medicine, and one thing I saw all the time in that is the biggest complaint everybody had, especially as people get older, is that they feel tired. And that was always very difficult. Until I retired, it was always the hardest thing to fix for people. Hey, I'm 60 years old, I'm 50 years old, I'm 40 years old, I feel so much worse than I did 20 years ago. I can't do the same things I used to do, even though they're not taking any medicines and otherwise they're very fit. And this is something that I've seen really nice results in the Healy with. When the cell membrane is strong, the mitochondria is healthy. Mitochondria provides ATP. It's kind of the energy building block for the body. It's what gives us our energy. Microcurrent frequencies can increase ATP production up to 500%. And you can see a tremendous increase in your energy. And that, with everything else, people want to exercise, they want to do all these things, but they just are too tired to do a lot of things. And when you become too tired, it affects you physically and mentally. And this is one thing I've seen really good results in using the Healy, is just improving people's energy. So increased protein synthesis and amino acid transport happens as a result with this ATP production. The bioenergetic field, this is the flow of energy through the mind and body and the soul, where everything kind of flows together and is connected without any blocks and things like that. And this is known in traditional medicine, in Chinese medicine, as qi, and Ayurveda it's known as prana. And frequencies are basically the language of communication between information and matter. Another way to think of it is between the subtle and the gross, between what you're seeing, which is a manifestation of a physical illness, versus the subtleties that may be deep underlying it. And that's going to be very important in kind of understanding how we heal internally. When we heal at the subtle levels, then we heal at a deeper level, and the results can be quite significant. That's why sometimes when you do frequency programs, for one thing, you may notice improvements in many other aspects of your life, because those subtle energies have strong ripple effects. So this is a nice picture of a cell. Okay, you have the net membrane potential of about negative 90 millivolts. Inside, you have those mitochondria. Mitochondria is what gives energy to the body. That's where ATP is produced. Microcurrent frequencies increase the ATP production, which again gives us the improvement in our energy. You can go to the next slide. This is a very important slide. This is showing, if you look on the left side, the y-axis, it shows cell membrane voltage. Okay, ideal voltage, like I said, negative 70 to negative 90 millivolts. As the millivolts change because of stress and toxins and other things, we start to see cells getting older. So one of the first things you see when people start getting older, some of the first things they see is that, oh, I'm hurting, my back has started to hurt, my neck is hurting, my knees are hurting. So aches and pains. And aches and pains finally lead to inflammation. Things start getting swollen. Your pain gets worse to where you didn't need any medicine. Now I need to take some medicine to help my pain. We kind of assume that, oh, this is what the rest of my life is going to be like, aches and pains and a lack of energy. This is, this is what people assume. But what's really going on is that the voltage across the cells is changing. And as the voltage across the cells changes, this is a result of that. So if we fix those voltages across the cells, a lot of these things can be reversed. Eventually, as that voltage continues to decrease more, we get edema, then we get reduced blood flow. When reduced blood flow happens, that's when people can have heart attacks and strokes and peripheral vascular disease and so many other problems. When you're not getting enough blood flow, you're not getting enough oxygen, you're getting, you cause a lot of problems. And then you can lead to the development of tumors and cancers and things like that. And eventually, when the voltage is really disrupted, you could lead to cell death. But the key is that this is not something that's inevitable. These are things that we can work on and fix, and the Healy is actually quite nice in doing that. I've seen in a lot of patients that I've used it on, I've seen, a lot of problems that you would medically, there's really not an answer for them other than, okay, take more medicine, do this, do that, because you're not getting to the root cause of what's really going on. But the Healy gets to the root cause and kind of helps fix the problem from the inside. So Healy delivers 200,000 different frequencies to support the body, okay? And as we talked about earlier, it's every aspect of things that you may be talking about. For pain, certainly. For beauty, to help, the things that may happen with aging. Helping fitness and energy, if you're someone who likes to exercise and, at 50, you're not able to do the same things that you could at 40, this can be very helpful. Trouble with sleeping. Learning is a very nice program. A lot of kids use it for school, for tests, to help with their stress, to help with their memory, not just kids, adults also. My kids use it when they take tests because it decreases their stress before taking tests, and it improves your memory, and you can learn the same information in a lot better way. People who do like triathlons really like the fitness programs because it helps them. And then the various different organs, liver, pancreas, everything can be helped in that regard. Spleen. Immunity programs are very nice. If you're prone to getting, recurrent tonsillitis, you get a lot of colds, or you just are in an environment where your immune system needs to stay strong, those can be very good. The emotional and well-being programs, I think, are actually some of the most powerful programs that are in the Healy, because so many things so many illnesses that we have, so many difficulties that we go through are related to stress. Stress is everywhere in everybody's life, whether you look for it or not, it comes. And the emotional well-being programs, when we do those, you certainly notice an improvement immediately in like your stress levels, or you feel more relaxed, or you can sleep better, this type of thing. But what happens as we keep doing those programs, then the other physical ailments that may have come as a result of that also get better. Pains may go away, spasms may go away, headaches may go away, that chronic heartburn you're having may go away. If you're eating and you're not feeling good after you eat, or feeling very fatigued after you eat, all those type of things can also start to resolve. So those, I think, are wonderful programs, and people in every facet of life, whether you're, a busy physician or a CEO of a company, or you're just a regular person doing their job, we're all having stress issues. So this is a very powerful aspect of the Healy. Chakras are aligned very nicely. Chakras can get out of balance through our lives and the way we live them. And the Healy really puts those back in balance. So chakras and the aura, and you'll really notice like an improvement in your kind of overall flow of energy through the body with that. And then the meridians are also fixed very nicely through this program. That's actually quite good. These are meridians related to Chinese medicine. So the Healy delivers specific frequencies for a specific purpose. Every person has different needs. So if you do the Healy on yourself, then you do the Healy on your spouse or your children or your friends, you're going to see different frequencies come up depending on what they need. The Healy looks like this tiny little device, but actually inside it's actually very, very complex. It's each one is put together by an engineer. It's not just like, you can just manufacture and stick pieces in without really thinking about it. It's very complicated on the inside. The Healy directly reads your cellular energy state at that moment, okay, what it is you need, and that's continuing to read it all the time. So that's something in there called a quantum sensor. And that sensor scans your cells and organs and gives you the exact frequencies you need. So you may do one program now, and an hour later or a few hours later, you do another program. It may read things completely differently depending on how much you've healed. So it's a very active, dynamic response to your needs now, because your health needs now may be different from what they were last year, or what it may be next year. So it's always reading that and giving you what's going to be best for you. Okay, this is another example of what you'll see when you run a program. So when you put the wristbands on, this is balance under the gold cycle. And where you see the red dot, that shows how much of the program has run. So it shows 37 minutes are remaining. And the 285.8, that's the hertz, that's the frequency that's running at that moment. And below the circle, you see 88% progress. And that kind of refers to how much of that particular frequency has run in your body from what you're needing. And this you will, as you do the programs, you'll see that. And below that is the voltage, where it says 85%, that's the percentage of the current that's running in your body at that time. And that can be set differently depending on the person. So all of that will be on your screen. So analysis. The frequencies currently in your body are causing bioenergetic imbalance. The Healy will analyze that through the sensor and see that, and it will deliver those very specific frequencies back into your body to make you healthier again. And medically speaking, like I said, I've seen very nice results with this. This is another slide that kind of shows the same type of thing. Frequencies from the bioenergetic field and microcurrent with frequencies at the cellular level. So it's working at both of those levels to help. The bioenergetic field kind of refers to our flow of energy, our chi, our prana, this type of thing. So it works at both levels to heal us subtly. And when the subtle parts are healed, everything else becomes healed also. So what are the different things that, a lot of this, these supportive treatments that the Healy does, these are things based on studies that have been done, scientific studies of patients on specific frequencies who had this problem, like they had fibromyalgia and they've undergone certain medical treatments that aren't as effective. And they say, okay, let's try the Healy. And they've done scientific studies where they check certain inflammatory markers within the body, which may go up with fibromyalgia. And they put them on treatment, their symptoms get better, and they also see those inflammatory markers in the bloodstream decrease. So for fibromyalgia, for chronic pain, for weight loss, for muscle spasms, for inflammation, shingles, fatigue, and also there have been studies for macular degeneration, which is a kind of a relentless and not curable trouble where you get blindness in the central part of your eyes and the macula. So there's a lot of scientific studies behind a lot of these treatments that the Healy is used for. So Cleveland Clinic. Most of you have heard of the Cleveland Clinic. It's one of the top academic medical centers in the world. And they did one of the studies on ATP, and the energy carrying molecule. That's where it showed the 500% increase in ATP levels. And the Cleveland Clinic, and on the bottom, the very last bullet point, you can go there and you can read what the Cleveland Clinic says about frequency-specific microcurrent. The specific frequencies encourage natural healing of the body, reduce pain and inflammation, and repair tissue. So people get better quicker, they feel stronger, and they recover from illness in a much faster and better way, is what that's basically showing. And so this is Marcus. This is the amazing, amazing person who invented this device. So Marcus Schmidtke is a quantum physicist. He has written over 20 books, and the one about frequencies is called The Fields of Life, which was released in 1997. His level of knowledge and subtle understanding of the body is just like mind-boggling. This is truly, a genius more than any I've seen. His most recent book was My Life in the Information Field, which talks about, how we connect to our information field, how we start to feel healthier in every way. So his quantum sensor invention and the time waver technology became available in 2004, and then the Healy developed from that. And that's kind of the parent company. And Marcus has his Existential Consciousness Research Institute in Berlin. Okay, then we'll hand it over to Premanjali from here.
Thank you, Dr. Edikich.
Thank you so much. So a little bit about Nuno Nina. So Nuno Nina is a Portuguese researcher and practitioner. He has 7 private clinics, mostly which are in Portugal, and his main field of work is frequency application and cell biology. With medical doctors and therapists, he has supervised over 45,000 patients in the last 15 years. And because he has been able to see so many patients with the thousands of clients that he's had, it's enabled him to compile theories and findings from his research, and which has created the gold cycle programs that we have today in the Healy. The frequency therapy works on a cellular level, as my husband was saying, and it leads to, because it's working at such a small level, it leads to a lasting success. The Healy Gold Cycle programs, Rasmita, is it okay if we can go to the next slide? So the Healy Gold Program Cycle programs are created by Nuno Nina, and there's 7 programs, which these 7 programs alone have 120,000 frequencies. As you can see, the programs include pure, care, energy, being, balance, relax, and release. Just like a short, brief overview of just these 7 programs, which are so powerful. Pure is like a detox program. With care, it helps with the bioenergetic energy field through appropriate exercise, healthy nutrition, and pure water. Balance helps our body's overall energy fields. The being program is for our soul. It's designed to help center ourselves during life's turmoil. Energy is an incredible program. It helps with increasing our energy. Like my husband was saying, just so many people just are feeling so exhausted. And so that helps with that. Then there's the relax program, which helps with stress. And then there's the release program, which helps with releasing mental and physical pain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranayam. So for everyone to know, there's just a few more slides left on the presentation, and then we'll go into questions and answers. If anyone has any questions that they want to ask about anything further. So we'll just finish these last few slides. Nikola Tesla, who was a genius inventor, many of you I'm sure have heard of him. He was one of the pioneers of the study of frequencies. And he said, if you want to understand the universe, try to understand it in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. So it is a very, very deep subject, this whole topic of frequencies and energy and vibrations and how they interact in the world, how they impact us, how it impacts the body. Very fascinating, fascinating study. So next, just briefly, want to touch upon, there's different packages that you can choose from when you get a Healy. Just in case any of you might, for those who don't have a Healy yet, if you're thinking about it, it's the same hardware, it's the same Healy unit for every single package, and it's just a difference in the software, the amount of software that comes with the Healy, and you can always upgrade later. If you start at a certain level, it can be upgraded to a higher level if you choose in the future. So Kosha touched upon the Healy resonance package, which is the 4th package, the highest package for the Healy. And there are 100,000 additional frequencies in the Healy resonance. And the particularly amazing thing about that is that they have the resonance, the frequencies of the Bach flower remedies, which is an incredible herbal line of remedies that can, people buy them and take them orally, but you can also get them through this resonance package delivered to your body through the Healy by the frequencies of those medicines. Same with the homeopathic medicines. That's also included in the Healy resonance. So you can actually have homeopathic remedies delivered to your body through the frequencies. And same thing with proteins and vitamins, and then other medicinal categories, the Australian bush flowers. So you have a whole medicine chest in here. Quite incredible array of so many different healing and medicinal items, which you can choose to resonate to your body through the frequencies, through the Healy. And the other, of course, incredible aspect is that the Healy first scans your body to see which of those medicines in a particular category your body needs. And then it vibrates those particular medicines to your body. So quite phenomenal technology, quite incredible. We've all been amazed with what it can do and the impact that it's had, and this incredible piece of technology and research that is all combined together in the Healy. It's quite phenomenal. So Anjali did also want us to mention that there is a sale going on right now, quite a fantastic sale for the Healy packages. And each package is for the price of the package below it. So in dollars, that would be a savings of between $500 to $1,000, depending on which package you get. So it's quite an incredible sale going right now until the end of May.